keeping the First Amendment alive. We are Fairfax County's cable access and internet radio station.
The radio programs aired by FPA reflect the viewpoints of individual producers and do not necessarily represent those of the station, its staff, or supporters.
Peace, welcome back to On Beat with OHLOW. This is DJ OHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. That's WEBR Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. We've got a great show lined up today with the DC Cannabis Co-op Club. I'm not even looking at the camera here. Mark always tells me to look into this camera, and I always forget. But we've got our good friend William here. Thank you for coming out.
Welcome. Greetings, everyone.
I appreciate you coming out today and speaking to us, man. You're here to talk about the club. And what I really want to talk about today is I want to talk about Initiative 71. Like I was saying before, I think a lot of people in Virginia don't really know what's going on in D.C. And I think there is a lot of people are just scared. They think that the laws only apply to D.C. residents.
That's untrue.
All right, so why don't you break it down for us?
All right, Initiative 71 was really passed by advocates here in D.C. I had a small part to play in that, and through that, we generated the club. And Initiative 71 basically says that we can grow X amount of number of plants in our homes in D.C., which is for any single dwelling is 12 plants per 2-person occupants. And we can possess up to 2 ounces of cannabis on us without any criminal ramifications.
On the streets?
On the streets, yeah. That's correct. And we can have it in our home. Not only can we have it in our home, we can also keep what we grow in our home with no limits at all.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there a limit to how much you can keep inside the house?
No, not at all. And actually, there's a part of the law that as long as we can validate what we grow, we can actually carry it anywhere in D.C. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 pounds or 500 pounds.
Oh, really?
If I have a facility where I can show that that's my weed and I can grow that, or I've grown that, and I take ownership of it, then it's perfectly legal. As far as people who come into D.C., tourists, and anyone outside of D.C., Virginia, and Maryland, you can do whatever you need to do while you're in D.C.
For recreational purposes.
For recreational purposes. So anyone can belong to the DC Cannabis Co-op Club. It's a annual membership with a monthly subscription. If you're in DC and Virginia, DC and Maryland, then we would actually deliver product to you.
Oh, really? You don't come over the bridge, though.
You don't have to come over the bridge. The only ones that got to come over the Potomac are the Virginia residents. And I have very, very many Virginia residents who do that. They either work in DC or we're very close to the Beltway, so it's a 5-minute off and on off the Beltway.
Yeah, exactly.
To come see us. Anyone who enters the Commonwealth, not the Commonwealth, that's here Virginia, but the DC boundaries, you are automatically can possess 2 ounces, but if you don't live there, you can't grow it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you know the DC Cannabis Co-op Club, then you have a friend in DC.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. All right, I just want to introduce everyone else real quick. Next to you, we have Cece.
Hey, Cece. How you doing, Cece?
It was very nice meeting you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming out, Cece. I know she has a lot of questions for you.
All right, that's fine. We're here to answer questions. We're educators. We want the people to be informed. We don't like miscommunication.
Exactly.
So if anyone has a problem with anything that I say or put out there, and come see me or bring it to my attention if you think for some reason it's wrong.
And let me just ask you while we're on this subject, if people wanted to find you online, how can they find you online?
Our short version of our website is dccanna.club, DCCANNA.club, and the long version is dccannabiscoop.club.
Cool.
We're on Facebook at DC Canna Club, and we have some other venues that we have that.
I'm going to ask you about that. I'm going to come back.
Okay, we'll come back.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not ready for that. This early into the show.
All right. We can educate a little bit. But it's really simple. The Initiative 71 wanted to keep everything private in DC. So I would suggest staying away from these public events that you hear about, that you can buy tickets to, and get things there that you probably would not want to have. So
like synthetic.
There's all kinds of imitations out there.
A lot of imitations.
We're the real deal.
And I want to ask you about the real deal, but I just want to introduce our DJ real quick, which is Switch.
What's going on?
What's happening,
Switch?
man? Hey, thanks for coming
good
out.
music over there.
Playing all live beats for us today.
Super
Came
loud.
prepared this time. I wanted to impress you.
Oh yeah.
It sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. And behind you over there, wearing a DC Cannabis Co-op Club T-shirt, is Natural E. He came in to finish up the painting he started last week, which looks like some kind of a hybrid plant there, man. What is that, E? Tell us what you're painting there, man. Get on this mic for us right here. This Switch's mic. What's up, E?
Peace, O.
How you doing, man?
Us.
Thank you for
Good.
coming
How are
out,
you
bro.
doing? Thank you all for coming out, coming through. It's good to meet you, William. Thanks for the shirt.
We have a project for you if you want to come finish it for us.
I would love to.
We'd love to
Be a
show you some of
blessing.
your work.
Thank you. I'm just creating a different version of the B Konductaz logo that I've been developing. Instead of the wings, we've got the healing leaves of you know what.
Yeah, that's what's
you
up,
you
man.
can say it. You can say cannabis. This is a perfectly
Cannabis.
legitimate
Yeah, man.
term.
So
and don't be afraid of it. It's not going to bite you. No one's going to come knocking at your door. Fairfax County is actually pretty
God.
liberal here, so we respect that.
That's what's up.
So
That's cool, man.
Thanks again for coming through.
just
I
call it
appreciate
what it
you
is.
coming out,
Having us.
man.
Oh,
Thanks for
anytime.
coming out to finish this up. You know, E started this painting last week on the show, but we ran out of time. And I told Mark, you know, since he's got this camera on me, I'm going to start wearing hats because I had the Superman curl going on last week and nobody told me. not
I
even
keep telling you about the curl.
So I'm going to take a quick break. All live beats by Switch. We've got William from the DC Cannabis Co-op Club.
Yes,
This is
thank
On
you,
Beat with
Switch.
OHLOW. We'll be right back. Peace.
All right.
Keeping the First Amendment alive. We are Fairfax County's cable access and internet radio station.
The radio programs aired by FPA reflect the viewpoints of individual producers and do not necessarily represent those of the station, its staff, or supporters.
Peace, peace. Welcome back to On Beat with OHLOW. This is DJ OHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. That's WEBR Radio Fairfax. Live beats provided by Switch. Hey, that was a nice mix, man. I like that. Switch, you know, Switch has been doing this for a really long time. I've known him since I was 7 years old, man. And he's been making music as long as I've known him. So he was one of those DJs that used to know how to beat mix with tapes, which is extremely hard. There's no pitch control. You know, the tapes take like a split or a couple seconds, you know, not a split second to turn on. It's not like on point like MP3s today and stuff, you know. But that's cool, man. I like this music you're playing for us, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming out. You have any questions for William? Because I know you're not going to talk much, man. You're a shy guy.
Don't be shy. Usually when you start talking about cannabis, usually you kind of perk up a little bit.
Yeah,
you got all kinds of questions.
We can talk about it afterwards. For sure.
Not a problem. Got you covered.
Cool, man. So, you know, what I want to do now is I want to get a little bit of the history of the Cannabis Club. I know you were telling me off air, you were telling me that you've been in this industry for a really long time.
4 years. I actually started out west, in Colorado, in California. I have friends that are been in the industry for way longer than I have, and they've taken me under their wing and shown me how to do things right.
And when you say do things right, what do you mean? As for
like
growing?
legally or just like
All the above.
Oh, okay, cool.
Starting from the top through activism and working your way down to the individual situation that you have in any jurisdiction that you.
Okay.
That you
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I originally started on a national level, and it wasn't until I got involved with Initiative 71 through Adam, and him and I worked together on that project. And in doing so, I got more into what was happening in DC, and then I kind of focused our attention to DC because I live there.
Yeah. And you're originally from DC?
I'm originally from
Oh,
DC.
okay, cool.
I was born and raised in Northeast DC.
Okay.
My father was a police officer and owned a couple gas stations, and my mom was she worked.
All right.
So I was a poor black child who grew up in Northeast DC, and got through life.
Homegrown, man.
Homegrown.
That's awesome,
No more
man.
homegrown than right here.
Yeah,
that's right. So, but through the Initiative 71 is how the club came about, because they want to keep everything private, and they don't want this thrown back in the city's face. They want it done right, and the only way that through Initiative 71 that you can do that is through private entities.
Okay.
So that's what we do.
So are you considered a nonprofit?
We are a nonprofit.
Okay.
We're a 501(c)(3). So in doing so, that's the legal end of it. Through regulations that you got to do, but we don't want,
because part of the law is that you can't distribute. Or no, you could distribute. But
we can gift. We can gift. We can gift all day long.
But you can't sell.
There's no selling the product. We do not do that.
Okay.
Our organization is through a membership and subscription service.
Okay.
Now, what about an age limit? Can you
21. You got to be over 21.
Okay, so you have to gift if you're only 21. You can get gifts.
Yes, we can gift you. Yes, you can join, and we can gift you all day long.
And you have to be 21 to join.
That's correct.
Okay.
So yes. So
and Cece, why don't you just go ahead? So Cece, I'll let you just go ahead and you speak on what you want to speak on.
I wanted to ask you about people. Well, you say that people can come across the bridge and
correct.
And
you can either come to one of our events. We have several monthly events. You can come right to our club. You can meet one of our runners that delivers.
Because there's a lot of people that I have multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people that come into the infusion center for cancer and other things, but they are not aware of how cannabis helps you. And I try to make them aware as much as possible, but they're afraid because we're in the Commonwealth.
Right, I understand. And
how do you approach those people that really it does benefit us? It does.
Well,
like me.
Yes.
For instance,
most
how would
definitely.
I benefit from your program?
Well, we work. We have individual programs that we work with our medical patients that we would deal with. Our subscription service in our club is more for the recreational users and stuff. But I do personally work with certain medical patients to be able to make referrals to certain cannabis doctors in DC and or throughout the country. It's not just here in DC. So whatever ailments that you have, if you want me to give you the simplified version of how it can help you, it's been proven, and it is a fact that the cannabinoids, the CBDs and the THC have healing processes, healing properties that do. It's not a cure for cancer, but it has proven to make it in remission.
Yes.
So as a patient, you would benefit greatly by absorbing the CBDs. So how you get that is either through a concentrate or directly through a flower that's specifically designed for a high CBD content and low THC. The THC and the is the part of the plant that gets you the high. And we can separate the CBDs from the THC through certain processes. So if you don't want the high, but you want the healing properties of it, and there's certain products that are on the market today that have CBDs in it that you can buy openly and have delivered to your house.
Yeah, and you can buy them from some of the stores out here too, like the CBD mouth spray.
Right,
and
exactly.
They do have that now.
Right.
But like, if you do want the mix, in order, because not only the CBDs.
I read that you actually need a mix of THC.
Right, that's true. There's always going to be,
only because I get tremors.
Right, the mix
tremors helps the CBD and the THC mix help my tremors because they relax my body down.
Right. Well, that's what we would refer you to a doctor for.
Yeah.
Because he can talk to you further about the medical side of it, and then he would be able to say, okay, this would be a good strain for you to be able to whatever your ailment is, because you're right, there is a mixture of you need a mixture of the THC and the CBDs in order for the healing process to work.
And even with the nausea and stuff that people need that THC, you gotta have
appetite. There's certain weeds certain flowers that we have that do certain things. That's what how specified.
Which is like the indica.
It's sativa. There's hybrids, and then through that there's certain strains strains that do certain things.
And what's the difference between an indica and a sativa?
The difference between an indica and a sativa is that the sativas is more of a more uplifting high that you would use during the day, and the indicas are the relaxing, mellow moods that you would go into, and within those strains is more of a down, relaxing feeling.
Indica's like for music, and sativa's like for working out.
Dancing.
Dancing. Yeah, exactly.
So something I also want to ask you.
Before we get off the CBD thing, I just want to say that I've been reading that the CBDs that are legal in all 50 states actually come from the hemp plant.
The hemp plant.
So it has no THC.
Right.
So that CBD doesn't really have too many benefiting.
It's a
properties.
start. It's a start, but there are, for medical purposes, there isn't anything that you can't get.
Let
me put it to you that way. Contact me directly if you have a problem with it. I can refer you somewhere. And
if people wanted to find you again online, how can they find you?
DCCannabis.club and at DC Cannabis Club on Facebook.
DC Cannabis Club. So it's Facebook /DC Cannabis Club.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All live beats by Switch. Live painting by E. It's looking pretty good there, E. Yeah, I like it, man. I see some color now. It's not all green anymore. Cool, man. We'll be right back. This is On Beat with OHLOW, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. Peace.
Keeping the First Amendment alive. We are Fairfax County's cable access and internet radio station.
The radio programs aired by FPA reflect the viewpoints of individual producers and do not necessarily represent those of the station, its staff, or supporters.
Peace, peace. Welcome back to On Beat with OHLOW. This is DJ OHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. All live beats provided by Switch. Let me just ask you, man, what are you playing here, man? You're playing everything off the MPC. I love that you brought the original MPC 2000 out. This is not like the new MPC USB, right? Plug it in. You just brought the laptop because you needed to, but this is an original Akai MPC from like 1972.
Yep, this is like the XL, the original. I saved up $1,100 just to buy this thing.
Back in the day.
Back in 1998.
I remember that, man. 1998, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, and you still have it. It's gonna last forever, man.
Yep. Probably one of the best investments I've ever done.
Yeah, cool. And so, what are you playing right now, man? Are you playing? Are these beats off of an album or something?
Right now, these are actually my beats from Ableton Live. So I got I kind of upgraded, but I still got the old school analog versus digital. So this is the digital.
Oh, so right now you're playing a digital beat. Everything else was from the MPC. This one is a digital beat. All right, cool. And if people wanted to find you online, people don't even know you were actually in the Beat Konductaz battle last year.
Which was fire.
Yeah, you placed in that, so that was cool. But if people wanted to find you online and find some more music, how can they find you?
They go to reverbnation.com/switch, SWTCH.
Okay, cool. And the T is like a big T, right? Capital T. Isn't that how you do it?
No, it's not lowercase, uppercase. It doesn't. It's not biased.
Okay, cool. And next to you, man, Joe Mays just walked in. This is Joe. Use this. Use mic 4, man. Yeah. This is actually
up,
Evan's brother over here. They look like twins. And Joe is another DC resident. The reason Joe came in today was because he has questions as well. And I have questions for him as well because I want to know if you're flexing your rights as a DC resident. Sorry, I can't see you, man.
Nah, no.
They added this big screen in front of us.
And if you need any help, let me know.
If you need a roommate,
in studio,
I'll give you some green tips.
let me know if you need a roommate. I'll live in your closet.
Well, the problem is I'm actually a roommate, so I don't own the house or anything. I'm staying there with my sister and her husband, and at the moment they're not
flexing their rights, huh?
No.
Well, we need to encourage them to grow at least 12 plants.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if they have 3 people, that's 18.
The limit is 12 plants per dwelling.
Oh, that's what it is, huh?
I thought it was per
okay.
person.
I didn't know
No,
that.
it's 12,
need to
it's
I thought it was
12
6 per person.
it's 12 plants. It's 6 per person, 12 plants max per dwelling.
Oh, okay. See, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always thought it was 6 per person, and it doesn't matter how many
And
people.
all
you
the
have in
clones
house.
we can have.
Oh, all the clones you can have. That's what it is. Okay.
So just one genetic individual, and then you can have as many clones. as you want.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, that's cool. That's good to know. I didn't know that. So, see, Joe, I mean,
We gotta have a law that requires everybody to grow at least 12 plants, right?
a law that requires
a long
everything.
time ago,
That's what it was,
hemp
like,
was.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody had to grow hemp,
actually, it was a law at one time.
It was a law.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When the colonists first came here,
Yep.
the king required everyone to grow hemp because of its properties.
That was a cash crop back
right,
then.
That's
yeah,
correct.
yeah, okay.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah, I get it back
That's
then.
where
I
the
thought
money
you
was
meant
coming in.
right.
That's where
more
the money
recently.
needs to come in now.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, as we all know, hemp has so many uses, and it's still used on, you know, all
Most
the.
definitely.
Yeah, it's used on ships. It's used
Everywhere
for
still.
oils.
The
yeah, it's
seeds
used.
you can make.
Clothing, there's
Yeah,
all kinds
clothing,
of
paper,
paper.
yeah.
There's all kinds of things that
They
you
make
can.
protein powder and stuff.
And we know the reason why, you know, they stopped using hemp is because these new. Well, yeah, paper, and then this new generation that we came into, not technical age, but the iron age. You know, when everyone was building things out of metals, the industrial age. You know, there was no use for hemp anymore because they've already, like you said, they've already moved to knocking down all the trees and using all the trees, and they had to use trees because when people came. When they migrated to the new land, they had to clear the trees down anyways.
So they used it.
Yeah,
Right.
so they had to use
It's a resource.
it. Exactly, yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, this is making us money."
Well, it was like, you know, DC
Well, I think there
Scrogger
was
said.
one guy, he owned
William Rand-
all the paper mills.
Yeah.
William Randall Hearst.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. He's the
And
one.
He kind of like spearheaded the campaign, but it might not have succeeded if it wasn't like in his business interest at the time.
Yeah. That's what it is,
It might be
man.
in a
It's
different
all about the money. You know, it's crazy
about
to
the
me
money.
that people don't care about gold, physical gold, but they'll kill you for a paper dollar. You know, it's crazy. The perceptions that we have in this world are crazy, man. Ideology is crazy.
That's
But
why we
anyway,
gotta stay green.
yeah, exactly, man. Go green, right?
Go
green.
green.
That's what it is, man. So now we all have questions for you.
All right,
And
come on, shoot.
So-
I'll try to do the best I can.
the first thing I'm going to start with is I want to know what the Dabba Dabba party is.
That's our Dabba Dabba Doo party. It's pretty awesome. It's for smoking concentrates. The party itself is kind of like a wine tasting where you pay to come for 4 hours of an event,
Yeah.
and everything there is free.
okay,
and it's a
cool.
wine tasting for dabbing.
For dabbing, yeah.
Everyone.
Is there food?
There's plenty of food.
Okay.
Yes, food, drinks. No alcohol.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I like that a
That's all
lot.
me, yeah.
There's no alcohol.
I'm very
it's strictly,
anti-alcohol, man.
It's your best buddy's lounge or basement that you had a good time in
Okay.
throughout your life, and that's what we're duplicating.
And see, that's the cool thing about
So-
DC is that a lot of people don't get is that if there's a lot of clubs and lounges you can go to.
No, there's not. Actually, no, there isn't.
Oh, really? There's not a lot.
No, there are no public clubs at all. Number
Oh,
one.
so these places I've been going to, they're kind of like just getting away with it, huh?
I don't know where you've been going.
Yeah, I shouldn't
but-
say where I've been going.
Well, you haven't said where you've been going.
No.
But there are no clubs or lounges in DC that are open to the public at all.
Is that
Oh,
is that
really?
law, or is
Right.
Is that
yeah.
illegal? or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been to a few.
And if you've been to events, if you've been to any kind of an event where they're smoking in public or in a public atmosphere, they're illegal. So-
But wouldn't a bar or club be considered private?
No, it's not. That's a
Oh,
public
'cause for
entity
commercial use.
because anyone can walk into
Ah,
it.
yeah,
Right.
I get it.
Right.
So you can't walk around DC with a spliff in your hand and smoke it?
No, not outside.
No,
Not
You can't
outside.
consume
No.
in public.
It's got to be in private.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what we do as the club, everything that we do in private.
Yeah, okay.
We have
Okay.
we own our own buildings. So that's what we're doing, and as long as we maintain that persona, then we're good to go for anything that we want to do.
Yeah,
So-
okay, cool.
So why was there so many people like out at events, out? just
Because they're doing it
smoking?
illegal. That's what I'm saying. They're illegal.
we protest all the time, and we protest in front of the White House, and
Okay,
we,
okay.
we do. I mean, that's what.
But when you protest, are you smoking in protest?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Oh, most definitely.
But that's happening illegally, though.
Right. Most. Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's what-
Yes.
see,
it's
the
done
pers-
in civil protest.
Yeah,
The
exactly. Yeah.
That makes me think that, like, me that don't know, like, that makes me think that it's legal to actually smoke out in public like
No,
that.
it's completely illegal to smoke in public in
Okay.
DC.
Y'all hear that out there?
Right. Do not smoke in public.
Yeah, no.
In DC.
I thought you knew that though, Cecil.
No, I didn't know that.
But the possession laws now on the other hand of that is the likelihood of you getting a ticket is probably all you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's about
if somebody even stops you.
Right. Right. That's if the cop is even going to waste their time.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll just say go somewhere else or put it out or something.
Yeah.
Right. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
Because they get it too. You know, I mean, it's kind of a waste of their time to try to bust somebody for one.
Well, I mean, if you check the statistics in DC of the crime arrest for possession of marijuana and distribution, they have tanked. They're at rock bottom. A couple of years ago, they were having 4,000 arrests per year, and I think last year they had like 35.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
man. Wow, that's crazy.
So people who say that the cannabis industry in DC isn't assisting DC itself, yes, it is indirectly by not having people go through their court systems, by not being arrested, by not having to pay lawyers to represent them to be defended for crimes of possession and distribution of cannabis.
And does anybody know how much cash has been collected by the district itself?
Those numbers have not come out yet.
They haven't. It's been 2 years now.
Right. Those numbers haven't come out yet, and they're really reluctant to release that kind of information. So I'm sure that we could get it from one of our representatives, and if any of our representatives are listening out there, please contact me, because I definitely would like to know.
Yeah. I want to know too. Yeah, because we all know about Colorado.
Well, because there was $1 billion cash.
Why wouldn't they want to say it?
Well, in Colorado is a whole nother story. So DC is a little bit different. They don't make any money on the recreational end of it, so that's totally not allowed by federal law and by their statute, because they can't collect and tax anything in DC. So that's one of their drawbacks on the federal level that's restricting them. Which personally, I like that. I don't want government interference into what we do and how we do it. So the more that we can do that, the better things will be. The taxation part is only effective on the medical side in DC, and that's a complete failure.
The medical side is a failure in DC now, right?
Yes,
that's why they have to reform the laws.
Well, what they're doing is, the way they're going to change that or try to fix that problem is that they're going to take away the residency restriction to have a medical card for DC.
Okay.
So that means Virginia residents can come to DC, get a card, and go to their dispensaries.
Oh, okay.
And the reason they're doing that is because out of 750,000 residents in DC, only about 3,000 signed up for the medical program, but they have 5 dispensaries. Well, 5 dispensaries can't support 3,000 residents. It's not possible. So how they're trying to get around that is they're going to be lifting the residency requirement, and they're also going to be raising the amount that you can possess to 4 ounces.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know about any of that stuff.
To match Maryland.
But there are a couple congressmen that are trying to reverse this whole Initiative 71.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to. Who are those congressmen so we don't vote for them again?
Well, I can't tell you who they are personally.
I think they're from other states.
One of them was from Maryland, who just got a license in Maryland to be a grower.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
That was pretty convenient, though. I don't remember his name, but he is a congressman in Maryland who did fight us being able to have recreational use here in D.C. And he fought it, and he won.
Yeah.
But yet in his district, he was allocated a license to grow in Maryland.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. And they don't have too many licenses to give out.
No, there was one for every county. So in Maryland,
only one?
One per county. Yes.
Oh, one per county.
One per county.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So how much could he grow?
Well, he's going to be going through the Maryland process. So whatever.
So could he have like a house?
Well, no. Maryland's completely different. When I'm talking about licensing for
this is commercial
dispensary.
He's going to have like 500 acres maybe or something like that.
So how do you do your employees? Like, do you have employees, or are these people that volunteer to help you?
No, man, this is going to be be big business.
No. We're talking.
Is this over my head right now?
yeah. It's like
slightly.
We'll pump you up here.
Okay.
Where's the lift on that chair?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get you out there.
Okay, so.
No, that's a whole other commercial end of the business. We're talking just recreational here in DC.
Yeah, okay.
That's a whole other.
That's yeah. So. But if you have any reporters out there who want to check into that story, that'd be a good one to find out what that connection is.
Speaking of reporters, man, we were talking about Charlotte Green.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
Charlotte Green from Alaska? The woman?
Yeah, the woman. Yeah, I heard a little bit about it. I've been seeing some of the stuff about it where she's facing charges now.
She is, yeah. She was the woman that went on. She was a news anchor. And
right,
she
said, she quit. And
F this, I quit.
And then she had a cannabis organization up
organization,
there.
Yeah. She had a club as well, a cannabis club that she opened. But I guess we were talking about this earlier. I guess she started it before the law went into effect, so now they're trying to get her for that or something like that. Something crazy.
It's always crazy. I was coming back from Pittsburgh back in over Memorial Day weekend, and I was coming through Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and I got pulled over for speeding, and we hadn't smoked in the car, nothing like that, but we did the night before, and the cop smelled weed in my car, or smelled weed. He asked me if I had any, and I just happened to have my T-shirt on, conveniently. That's all on Facebook too. Everything. So I said, "Of course I do." And
so you admitted to it?
Oh, most definitely. I'm not going to lie to a law enforcement.
In Pennsylvania, or
in Pennsylvania.
And do they have? Is it decriminalized?
Well, they did not decriminalize it, but they did just pass medical.
Oh, okay.
So that's in the works there, but they're still a year away from getting where they need to be. But in the meantime, they found 0.3 grams of flour in my car with a smoking device, and they gave me a sobriety check on the side of the road, and I passed it. And so they decided to arrest me for possession of 0.3 grams.
Possession of 0.3?
And smoking paraphernalia. And the thing about this is that they took me to jail. I had to post $500 fine, a $500 bond. I spent 5 hours in jail. And I've already been back 3 times for court dates.
Oh, wow.
Gone through about $1,000 of attorney's fees.
All it is money.
And yeah,
all it is money.
Because let me tell you about that. And
it's so evil.
I went for a preliminary hearing, and half the cases there were all for possession and paraphernalia. And the ironic thing is, they don't negotiate with you. They say either take this program or take whatever the judge is going to throw at you.
And the program is like a AA program.
It's their program that they initiate in Pennsylvania. It's really 6 months. It's very accommodating.
With your T-shirt on.
6 months probation, a $2,000 fine, and 50 hours of community service.
Wow. Oh my gosh!
Right. So I don't really think that's worth 0.3 grams of my time.
Crazy.
So we're fighting that. So my next court date is the 28th of this month, and hopefully we'll make
some business.
Well, we're gonna have to get that update too. Right. Yeah, I want to know about that too.
I already know what I'm going to do, and you know, if the judge wants to be a prick about it, he can. But I'm looking at a month in jail and a $500 fine.
Oh, but hopefully not though.
Well, whatever judge. Hopefully the judge gets laid that month.
Well, there's not
that night, the night before.
There's
I hope he got laid.
He gets good breakfast in the morning.
I read this morning that there's 8 more states that are gonna reform their laws this November. I guess the new laws take effect this November.
Well, there's something new laws. There are certain states out there currently. I don't know all of them, but I know one of them is the big one is California.
Yeah. That
they're going to initiate their recreational part because it's not recreationally available yet in California. So
I don't think they care. Every time I go to California, it's all recreation.
It is, but it isn't.
No,
but
I know.
And Colorado.
I'm just joking. Yeah,
right.
No, but Cali. I think Cali. As a kid going to Cali, that was the thing. You know, Cali was known for the weather, the women, and the weed. That's really what it is. You know.
And, I don't know. I've always grown up on the East Coast, so I've always got my weed here from DC.
I've got family on the West Coast, so that's I have to go see them.
So do I. And I actually have a California medical card.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, when I go out there, I have people who work in the industry out there, and a lot of experience that I've gotten from them.
And I think it was California that really made this industry blow up.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Mostly everyone who is coming out of the industry is all coming out of California.
Out of Cali, exactly.
Because that's where, I'm not saying that's where it started, because that's not where it started, but they grow some of the best weed.
Yeah.
Where did it start?
Gardening products.
Where did it initially start to push?
Well, I mean, cannabis is a product that goes way back that people have been using for a very long time. I actually have a friend here in Fairfax County, and his father actually used to dispense it legally as a dentist. And we actually have, and this is going into our museum. It's a National Cannabis Visitor Center in Washington D.C.
Oh, cool!
That we're opening.
That's amazing.
And we're taking donations now for our museum.
And if people wanted to donate or find more information about that, how can they find that?
We do have a Facebook. It's DC Canna Info.
Okay, cool.
On Facebook.
DC Canna Info.
DC Canna Info.
Cool, cool.
If they go to that page, that'll bring you right to that site and check it out a little bit. But it's a cross between an information center and a museum that we're doing down in DC.
That's awesome.
We're currently looking for space there.
Nice.
But getting back to the certificate,
I got space in Virginia if you guys need.
Okay, well, when they decriminalize the possession, yes, you got a deal.
Yeah.
All right, they don't have to change the law; just decriminalize it.
Yeah. Exactly.
For me to carry it over.
But we're
here.
pushing, man. We like I said, a lot of people, in my experience, a lot of people in Virginia are either scared or they just don't care enough to get up and say something. I think a lot of it has to do with fear because the more I read, I believe all we have to do is follow what DC did. We just have to stir up the people and get the people. Because I read that actually 2 years ago, Virginia, there was a poll taken in Virginia, and I believe 78% of Virginia,
definitely.
right? It was 78%.
It was over 60% in Virginia in favor of legalization of
yeah.
Right. And that's really.
Can we get on the boat, please?
Most definitely.
No-brainer.
So right. It is, but the only resistance we have from it is really law enforcement. Yeah. Because they're the big losers in all this.
Yeah, exactly. They make all the money.
Yeah.
Well,
chill out, CC. We'll just go on. You know they listen to us too, man.
Sorry,
CC's going hard, man.
But if they actually see the benefit of it and come around, they would see how beneficial it could be to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many of them. Right. They would have to fire some people.
Now, what do you feel about?
Hey,
like
real quick.
Marlboro?
I'm sorry. We'll just hold your questions for 1 second. Let me take a quick break. All Live Beats by Switch. Switch is like he's dying to add something. I can see it in his eyes, man. Live painting over here by Natural E. We're sitting here talking to William from the DC Cannabis Co-op Club, and this is On Beat with OHLOW. We'll be right back.
Keeping the First Amendment alive. We are Fairfax County's cable access and internet radio station.
The radio programs aired by FPA reflect the viewpoints of individual producers and do not necessarily represent those of the station, its staff, or supporters.
Peace. Welcome back to On Beat with OHLOW. This is DJ OHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. That's WEBR Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. Today we're sitting here with William from the DC Cannabis Co-op Club. And we're talking about everything. We're talking about how to join. We're talking about the Initiative 71. We're talking about concentrates. All Live Beats, again, provided by Switch. He's playing All Live Beats for us today. You know, I've got a question for you. You told us how you can join the club. You told us about, what the benefits of the club are. But you didn't tell us so much about the lounge. I saw something on Facebook. You had a couple artists come to your lounge and do a big
We're doing
piece.
Half the main lounge is we call it Living Art. The events that we're going to be having there are for members only. It's an environment that is like no other here in DC. It's first of its kind here in DC. We're very proud of that. All I can tell you is it's going to be an experience that you would have to come and experience it and tell your friends about it. We had a dry run about 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night in the park. My property backs up to Rock Creek Park. So
okay, cool.
It was really nice that night, so we had it outside. Yeah. So we didn't have it. The lounge isn't ready yet. It isn't finished yet. But winter's coming and fall's coming, and no one wants to be outside at 30 degrees outside, and they want to be inside, comfortable, and being able to in the privacy of their like-minded people. It's something very unique, and it's really hard to explain because it doesn't exist.
No,
there's nowhere in DC that exists like this.
I saw some pictures and I was really like, I was blown by. First of all, I was blown by the art because it looks really cool. It looks awesome.
It's some of the DC's best artists, and we're going to be promoting every one of those artists that contributed to the mural that we have in our facility.
And it's not just a mural. I mean, it's like it looked like it was the whole the whole apartment. Isn't it an apartment?
No, it's it's my man cave.
All right, cool.
Okay. The best cannabis man cave in DC.
Yeah.
That's not what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate enough to be able to offer this to the community. Even DC Normal is going to be starting having their meetings there.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So we partner with them.
And Normal is nationwide. They're big time.
But,
they've been in it for years.
Yeah, they've been in it for years.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I used to go to DC Normal stuff on the west side of the Lincoln Memorial for 4th of July.
Cool.
I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I remember that.
But I've been going there since I was old enough to even smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing to do in DC was to go down to the monument about 1-3 o'clock in the afternoon. They'd have their party in there. March and protest, and we'd be right there with them.
Yeah, that's cool.
And no matter where I've lived in the country, I've always come back to DC for 4th of July.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome, man.
So that's cool. But the lounge itself is event style. It's for 4 hours. It's limited to 16 guests, and everything there is free. You pay one price. You pay your entrance fee to come as a member. And these are special events we have. And to give you an idea of what would be there, you could have one of my friends is Sean Savoy. He's a comedian at the DC Improv, and he's going to be giving lessons for it. And then you would come for a night, and he would either do a comedy skits, or we would do lessons, or I have a lessons
in comedy,
lessons improv.
Improv, correct. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's where we're going with this.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's where we're going with this. My partner that was here, who abruptly left, I was going to give her a plug because she's a yoga instructor and a belly dancer.
Awesome!
And so she brings those qualities. We have steel drum people who are going to be teaching steel drums and music.
Are you going to have artists there?
Our artists. We're going to showcase our artists.
Okay.
For events, and their work is actually for sale in our lounge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
We started this characterization of, and there may be one on the Facebook that we've done that I posted of me on air, but that's a character that we're starting a cannabis comic strip.
Oh, okay.
So when you become a character, then you become part of the comic strip. So it's really pretty cool what we're setting up.
That's pretty cool, man. So you guys are really setting it up for the future. I mean, you guys are really doing something for the kids. I mean,
well, we're doing things that make sense that people can enjoy.
Yeah,
that can educate.
None of this, people coming through your door that you don't know, that's going to destroy things, and there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
Exactly.
So we're trying to do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
And lead by example, and we want to raise that river for everyone.
Yeah.
And one more time, if people wanted to find you online,
DCCanna.club or DC Cannabis Co-op Club.
And that's both on Facebook.
Facebook at DC Canna Club.
And there's .com as well?
No .com.
Oh, they're both on Facebook.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Right.
That's cool.
So,
and I know Joe has some questions for you.
What's up, Joe?
Because Joe is a botanist, right? Are you a botanist? Is that what they call you? That's what Cece said.
I'm studying it.
All right. Well,
I don't know if I can call myself one yet, but I'm a botanist in training.
All right. Well, then grow the flower. You'll be all right.
I've never done that before, actually. But
well, then let's show you how.
Flex your rights, man.
They don't teach that. They don't teach about that in botany class because they still eventually, hopefully, they'll start teaching.
About they can hire us. We'll come teach them. Show you how.
Cool.
You get the foundation though, so you learn the foundation of how to grow things.
I know about plants. So.
Yeah.
And actually, one funny thing is, I work at a garden center here, and it's one of the most popular products. I've worked at more than one garden center. It's Dr. Earth, which comes from California, and it's designed just for cannabis.
That's
so
correct.
People buy it. That's the one they want to buy for the vegetable gardens and everything.
Right.
And it's one of the best sellers. It's expensive because it's really good.
Is it a compost? What is it exactly?
Yeah, it's a compost topsoil mix that has all kinds of different things in it that help the plants grow, and it's all organic. And they have one for vegetable gardens, and they have one for other plants, more like an all-purpose one. So it's it's a really great product, and it was designed by people growing cannabis.
So,
I don't know
Joe,
what that says, but
what's your question, man?
my question?
Holler at us.
Well, I was just the unfortunate story that you told about Pennsylvania. I read that they actually changed the law. I don't know which state, but probable cause smell is not probable cause anymore.
Well, in some places that's correct. Like in D.C., they cannot.
They just passed one somewhere, but I don't know if that was.
What was it in
What if
Pennsylvania?
you just farted and you rolled down the window and he walked up on
Wait,
you?
William,
That's
so
a
you
good
said
strategy.
and so in
hold
DC
one in, and then when the cop comes,
Right,
it's not probable cause.
The probable
can't be
cause,
set.
right, even if they see
By
it
smell.
laying right there.
Oh, really?
Right. So unless you got like 5 pounds or more.
Yeah, I mean, if they
more
see,
than your 2
more than you're
ounces.
supposed to have,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
But probable cause for
even if
the
what
smell
if it's
of it. Right.
what if you have something lit up? Then obviously that's illegal.
Right, exactly.
In
But what if
public.
okay? What if
doing
it's
it in public?
what if it's tapped
sitting on your
out?
front porch?
Well, if it's on your front porch,
it's
someone's probably
going-
going to steal it.
I mean,
No, as long as you're on private property,
As
you're
long as you're on
okay.
private property, you can do
Right.
anything you want.
As long as you're
I guess-
inside your gate.
Do you happen to know if there's still raids of dispensaries that go on in D.C. by federal authorities? Or
They're
does that happen?
President Obama, and I do give him credit for this, has issued a government order to the Attorney General.
Is
of
this
the United
recent?
States.
Very
Yes.
recent?
Well, this was a couple years ago, but it still stands. That's why there hasn't been any prosecutions of anywhere that it's
Okay.
been either medical or legal.
Because I know that
Right.
earlier in his term.
Now,
there were
does it
lots
still
of
go?
raids.
Does it still go on locally for the local officials? They're having a field day in certain parts of the country.
Yeah, right.
Because they know it's a short
It's
lived.
easy
Oh,
prey.
yeah.
Right,
You know?
right.
Nobody's trying to.
And it
walk
is
you
all
in
about the
a
money.
dispensary.
Don't let anyone else sell you differently, but it is about
See?
the money.
Because the deal that the local police departments have
Follow
with
the
the DEA is that they get to keep whatever drug money and anything
They keep the proceeds.
they keep everything.
Right. So they have definitely a financial interest in shutting down things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because they keep the drugs as well.
They make
Correct.
profit off of all of it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, our time is almost up. I want to check in with Natural E over here, wearing the DC Cannabis Co-op Club T-shirt, which is really cool. I like the logo that you guys
Thank you.
designed.
Yeah, that
there.
logo's neat.
It's
I like
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I like that. And E, I just want to check in with you, man. I see what you're doing there. You added some color. Tell us what you have there
Good
now,
job.
man.
Good job.
You've got the B Konductaz logo wrapped around.
Conductors.
The Buddha Konductaz, that's what it is, man. I'm changing the name tonight. I'm going to buy that website tonight. The Buddha Konductaz. I got to get that. E.
It's the Flying Creative Records, the Almighty B Conductors Collective. DJ OHLOW, thank you for having us.
Respect, fam.
Do my thing.
Hey, thank you for coming out, man. If people wanted to find you
Anytime.
online, if they wanted to find the Top Ramen Noodles,
trnoodles.com. Find soundcloud.com/natural_emaze. Big ups to Switch for the dope beats.
cool, yeah, man. Respect. Switch, if people wanted to find you online,
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, go to reverbnation.com/switch with no I.
it's /
Yeah.
It's not backslash?
No, /.
Oh, yeah.
Is it backslash?
I always say backslash.
Wait, hold on.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Maybe it is backslash.
It's some kind of slash.
Yeah.
Cool.
Real quick before I forget, they just found 2,500-year-old hemp plants in this Chinese tomb of this medicinal person who was somewhere in China. I forgot the name of the city, but that's how long they've been using.
Oh, longer than that?
Well, he wanted to make sure that when he got to heaven, he was covered. That's all.
It was preserved, and they were surprised how preserved
Oh,
it
it was preserved for 2,500 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, man, it's God's plant, man. You know, well,
That's
how are you gonna take away from God, man? You can't, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to.
It's the only plant that is classified as a Schedule 1 drug that has healing properties, and the government refuses to acknowledge
Yeah, it's
it.
crazy. Yeah,
That's crazy. And
So-
they don't even have the angel trumpet vine as a plant that you. Angel trumpet vine is a hallucinogen. It makes you trip balls, and it's legal. And
Well, they just legalized. They just brought the age limit for Oxycontin or whatever
Oh, yeah,
down
down to like
to 10 years old. Or
what in the
11 years
world
old.
is that about?
That's what it is, man. Those companies
don't
are
blow
right
up
there.
The angel trumpet vine.
Oh, so that's what you're growing, huh? That's what I saw at
I
your
love
house.
it. It's a beautiful plant, but don't have it in the car with you and you got the heat on. because those little crystals are gonna blow around, and then you're gonna have to roll the windows down real quick because it'll make you start to trip at the red light.
Cece, what are you telling us, man?
Well, I didn't. I was transferring transferring a plant from one place to another, and I had it in the car with me, not knowing that if I had the windows rolled up with the heat on, it was gonna make the plant start to give off its
pollen.
Pollen.
Right.
And at the red light, I just started to feel really funny.
You saw the Chucky doll, huh?
I started to feel funny, and then the red light started to turn a different color, and I was like, okay, I rolled the windows down. I started to breathe a little better, but it immediately hit me. It immediately hit me.
And Cece, if people wanted to find you online, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. It's just the only place. Elizabeth Tebazile. That's Tebazile. And also, I am on Hustlin' and Heels every Wednesday. You can find me there. Alrighty.
Cool. And you'll be here every Thursday night.
Every Thursday night.
Every Thursday night, 11 p.m. That's what it is.
There you go.
You forget, huh?
Yeah. You need to bring that Hustlin' and Heels to DC, and we'll give you your own night.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
See?
No, we need to bring beat conductors to DC.
Okay, well, we can do that. We can do it. We can have a show.
Do it all, man.
Lounge,
if you have a mobile thing, I have some audio people we could probably set up.
Cool, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll make it all work, man.
I'd love to do it.
We could do that.
Joe, I'm sorry, man. Joe, I just want to say thank you for coming out and coming late.
Never did get your question, though. What was the question?
I don't know. He's got it.
All right, so I'm a person who just, let's say, I've never done it before. I went to a party. I loved it. I want to go to DC. How easy is it for me to get it?
If you were a member of the DC Cannabis Co-op Club, you just call, put your order in, and come pick it up.
It's Ubered to you.
If you live in Maryland, they'll deliver to you.
And if Maryland and DC will deliver to you. If it's Virginia, you either got to come to our facility or meet us somewhere in DC.
I just want to share my experience real quick because I went out the other night and I didn't know that the public, bars and stuff weren't allowed to.
Technically, there are not.
Technically, yeah, they're not. I'm not going to say where I went, but I went out. And,
it happens all the time. Don't get me wrong. There's a number of rooftop facilities that you can go to at any given night.
But this wasn't even a rooftop. It was
right.
I
understand.
Yeah, it was inside. Yeah, so that's why I thought that these commercial venues were allowed to.
No.
As long as people stay inside, but I guess not, huh?
No. You educated me today.
Yeah, man, I learned something new.
And William, thank you, OHLOW.
Yeah, thank you for coming out. And one last time, if people wanted to find you online, how can they find you?
DCCannabis.club.
Cool. And if people wanted to join or donate or do whatever,
just contact me, William at DCCannabis.club.
Cool. And I appreciate you for coming out,
sir.
William.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
This is an awesome show. Thank you for educating us, man.
Anything I can do.
This is On Beat. Thank you. Thank you, man. On Beat with OHLOW coming to you live. What's up with this beat? I don't hear nothing. There it is. All live beats by Switch today. Thanks. Peace.
Keeping the First Amendment alive. We are Fairfax County's cable access and internet radio station.